I don't apologize. In the end, I don't care whether you love me or you hate me, just as long as I win.
Being a winner is a curse. It doesn't matter how much you've won before. You're not a winner until you win again. And again, and again. Nothing is enough. No one understands. And you never wanted to stop.
We did not come this far to just break down and lose now. Everything's not always about winning and losing. I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, and maybe not the next month. But only one thing is true. I will be champion one day, I promise. I promise.
After watching that film, I come to understand if I could work that hard every day, with being blessed with the physical tools that I have, what would my career be? And I made a promise to myself from that day that I was going to work that hard every single day so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. That was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, you do that for 20 years, and what do you have?
I'm a warrior. I go to the core. I am Invictus. Nothing crushes me, nothing. Doesn't even come close. And if it does, I rise again and again and again.
There's no victim. Tired, 14 days, 13 days, whatever the hell it is. Don't mean nothing. Tired is only in the mind. You tell yourself you're tired, you're gonna be tired. I don't get tired.
Do not give up. Do not feel like you're tired. When you tired, think of last year and think of that record. Every time I get tired or I think I can't go no more, I think of that record. That ain't us. We can make it. We gotta believe. We gotta be mentally strong. When we tired, that's when we gotta put our fundamentals together. That's when we gotta be more focused. When we tired, look across the field and see how tired they are. That should give you more effort. Be like, I'm gonna beat his ass. I'm gonna get fundamentally strong. Everybody's great when they're not tired. The champions is when they tired, that's when the real champions come out. That's when that real dog come out. Because if you go piss like a puppy, stay on the porch and let the big dogs eat. Let them feel. Have some heart. I get emotional about this. I'm about to cry because I care about y'all. Last year wasn't it.
To me, to win, you gotta lose. To be successful, you gotta have something that's not successful. To be happy, you gotta have disappointment. So I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am and understand the benefits and the privileges I have for being who I am, and not to wear it on my sleeve, be very humble about it.
Man, I'm built different, period. I'm just built different, man. And I've always had an eye, a discipline and a work ethic that I've had at a young age that I just apply it to everything that I want to do. So I would say that, I rarely go out, reading, you know what I'm saying, trying to reverse engineer how to be successful. Like, how do I, start my own production company? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I always felt like if other cats was out partying and I was home studying, I would have an edge. Yes. You know what I'm saying? If cats was out here doing this and that, being hungover the night before, I would have an edge if I wasn't.
When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
Fear is universal. I think the only way to approach fear is you got to go right at it. I read somewhere where the best way to fight the demons that chase you in the night is to stop and turn around. Turn around, face them, man up. There's a thing about manning up. Don't you feel better when you accomplish something and you work through something and you man up?
When you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, you've got to be willing to give up sleep. You got to be willing to work off for 3 hours of sleep, 2 hours. If you really want to be successful, some days you're going to have to stay up 3 days in a row. Because if you go to sleep, you might miss the opportunity to be successful. That's how bad you got to want it. You got to go days without, listen to me, you got to want to be successful so bad that you forget to eat.
Athletes want to maximize their potential, maximize their opportunity. You guys want to maximize the potential and opportunity you have in your business. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of consistent discipline. It doesn't mean that you can have one good month. It means that you got to do a lot more right than wrong. It means you got to make a lot more good choices than bad choices. It means you have to be more disciplined than not disciplined. It means you have to surround your people with very smart people, not people that are going to help you think less. You got to challenge yourself, not challenge yourself less. So we're all faced with those decisions every day, and you get the opportunity, just like I had the opportunity, to choose. What do you want? What are your goals? What are your priorities? What do you guys want to achieve? You guys are sitting here as entrepreneurs, CEOs, leaders, running business, running families. What's the choice you get to make every day to wake up and say, all right, this is where I'm going to focus my time and energy? How disciplined are you to maintain that routine over a period of time? And I think that will determine your level of success.
You know, if I see something, I see an opportunity, I'm going to go for it. You know what I'm saying? We only, you know, we're all going to die one day.
Yeah, that's true.
So we live like that. Live like you could die tomorrow. You know,
for me, anger was good. Anger was good because it was motivating. The more I could create an enemy, the more I wanted to go out and kill those guys. Now, I knew I wasn't going to kill them physically, but man, if I could just, what did they say? You know, and what did they look like? Did they disrespect me at all? You know, and did that say something? Like, those are little things that can get me right in the emotional frame of mind that when I ran on the field and I said, let's fucking go. It was really, let's go kick some ass.
I always felt like I could do anything. That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves. They're slowed down by their perception of themselves. If you're taught you can't do anything, you won't do anything. I was taught I could do everything.
There are just those very few players who train to dominate. They train so hard that winning is inevitable on race night. And Adam said, that clicked with me. I decided I was going to train to dominate. So he said, when I go into the Olympic final, I know I'm going to win. I know I've done more than anybody else. I feel so good.
Losers let it happen. Winners make it happen. Losers see thunderstorms. Winners see rainbows. Losers see icy streets. Winners put on their ice skates. Losers take chances. Winners make choices. It's all in the way you choose to think. And Earl Nightingale and the scriptures and people through the years have said it best. You do become what you think about most of the time. And most of the time you and I think about winning and success and positive opportunities. And we control that. It's the most exciting thing I've learned.
You can find inspiration, and when you find inspiration, when you get charged up, all of a sudden you have energy.
That's right.
It's right. It's weird.
And I talk about in the book also, is about, I learned how to control my adrenals. If you know how you get that fight or flight response when you get to move real quick.
Yeah.
And you know, I started learning the mind a lot, how to get myself jacked extremely fast, like in a horrible environment when everybody's miserable. I learned how to really find strength in the misery. When everybody's suffering, everybody's all poopy pants and their mentality's down and everything, I started just like, my God, this is where I shine. And I started using all that misery for tons and tons of drive and motivation to then lead people further. Because you can get a lot of power through misery. And once people see that, my God, Goggins is going, then everybody says, roger that. Let me get my go too. So I started realizing that if You can just find strength just a little bit longer. You will have a crew of people following you along the way.
You are behind. You off for 7 years. You are behind. You should have anxiety, and you should have urgency, and you should want to go. And you shouldn't try to run from that anxiety, because that anxiety is telling you, hey, bro, it's time to get your gear. It's time to get going. Whatever it is that you want out of your life, make that start happening, and that's going to require you to become the best version of you, which means staying sober, which means getting fit, which means getting educated, which means stopping filling your mind with mindless and start filling your mind with that's going to make you better. And if you do these things and you go out every single day and you check off win after win after win after win, you'll be able to catch up to everybody else pretty quick. Because while everybody else may not have been off the way that you have been, they still only go half speed. So if they're going half speed and you can pick it up to actually execute at full speed, you'll catch and pass those people.
How much more successful do you want me to be?
More successful.
How many records can my records break?
More records.
But I'm the best.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
No. It's about the inspiring people and the influence and constantly giving back and moving forward in a positive way. And the only way you can do that is to stay active.
It's the story, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're all writing a book. What's your book look like? What does your book look like? Like your life is a book. You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they close that book, how good was the book? How good was your book? What was the ending to your book? If the ending to my book can be so amazing because of all that was done, not the money, all that was accomplished, the first to do, the man that did this, he caused the merger between this. Because of his commitment and growth to this, the communities were then given this, made education this, changed the way the schooling was blah, 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 gave books.
First one, a friendly reminder that in 3 generations, everyone who knew us will be dead, including the people whose opinions stopped you from doing what you wanted all along. Imagine that someone you know achieves every dream and hits every goal they have. Years later, they get old and die. 2 years after that, how much do you care? About as much as everyone else will if you accomplish your goals and dreams. Do it for you.
So I think about death all the time because it's probably the central theme. It's probably the thing that I think the most about, and I think that influences how I see time and also how I think, how it influences agency. Like what actions I'm willing to take despite the judgment of others. And so a lot of times, and it might be because I have more insecurity than everyone, that I think like, man, I want to do this thing. And then I hear all these other voices of reasons why I shouldn't do it, or why somebody else will say like, that's bad, or you're bad, or like, that's wrong, whatever. And so I think I've had to come up with a lot of these devices to get around my own insecurities, to take action despite those insecurities. And the biggest one that I think about is that it doesn't matter whether I achieve all of my goals or I don't achieve all of the goals. In 3 generations, I'll be forgotten, and the only people who were naysaying against me will also be dead. And so then it's like, just do it for me.
You have to realize, you have to know, you have to accept that all your excuses are lies. They are lies, all of them. Think about the things that you tell yourself, the lies you use to rationalize taking the easy road. Taking the easy road and leaving discipline behind. Think about them. You don't have time. That's a lie. You don't have support. That's a lie. You don't have the equipment or the gear. Lies. You don't know the best way. Who cares? That's a lie. Or you're too old, or you're too young. Of course you're too old or too young.
Life doesn't happen to you. We all think that life happens to me, right? Life happens for you. It happens for you. I mean, opportunities will come to you every day. It's either for you, you can remain scared of the opportunities, or you can embrace them and take them. What I finally realized that, and I want to share this with you, if you give up on your dreams, what do you have left? Nothing. I can't live that way. I can't live that way. I have to live on the edge.
You know, there comes a day, man. Everyone's gonna have this day. There comes a day where being average, being mediocre is just sickening to you. It's just sickening. It makes you want to throw up. Because you've seen people with far less talent than you. As you're growing up with them, their childhood buddies, whatever else, they didn't have what you had. Yet now they're fucking to become something that you haven't. There comes that day. It's either when you're young, you know, and it strikes you on the baseball field because you're sick of striking out, or it's when you get fired from your 5th job, you know, and your wife and kids are on your ass because you don't know how to support them anymore. There comes a day where push comes to shove, where being mediocre, being like average, just burns it so much. You can't deal with it one more day, and you get off your and you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out, but you've never wanted to unwrap it because it's too much.
The ultimate lesson here is this: everybody's on their own path, and I don't want to judge someone for wanting to be free and easy. I just want you to understand that there's a cost to that, and the cost that you're going to have to that isn't going to come until later. Most people need to shut up and focus on that version of themselves they want to become and actually be willing to become it. And that's what's ultimately going to create the fulfillment that you're looking for. It's not going to be your cold plunge. It's not going to be your morning routine. It's going to be the work that you do to become that version of yourself that is the exact version that you know you're supposed to become, and then being proud of it. That's what's going to create the fulfillment that you're searching for. And all of this other is just Band-Aid to try and fix something that you know is a real problem in yourself.
Know how to get permanent, lasting results. It's not easy. Some folks go from heavy to losing weight, back to heavy again. Some folks go from lazy to studs, back to lazy. The list goes on and on and on. A lot of folks take the 4-lane highway to get their results. The 4-lane highway is just that. It's the easy route. On that highway, they have road signs. 5 miles up, hotel. 10 miles up, restaurant. Restrooms, all that. It's the easy roadmap to success. Nothing there is permanent. But the other choice that makes permanent is the shovel. That shovel leaves you with calluses on your brain, on your hands. They're permanent. Pick up the shovel. Stay hard.
What can happen if we decide, I'm going to see what happens when I decide that I am qualified? What happens when I decide for myself that I'm going to do something different? You know, one thing, Jocko Willink was in here last week, and one thing that's really been pressing with me that we discussed is staying motivated. And I have been finding myself more motivated, even when I do not feel like doing something, to do it. That my brain doesn't dictate how. My brain does not get to choose. My brain can feel a certain way, but it's not going to choose how I behave all the time. I just can't let it do it anymore. I'm going to have setbacks, I know. But if I'm feeling bad, that doesn't mean I'm doing bad. That doesn't mean I am bad. That doesn't mean that I can't still take some action. Because, nothing changes and nothing changes.
It is a process to go through when you want to be successful at something. It's not, if you look at the city wasn't built in a day, right? So, it takes time to truly reach your goals and reach your potential. And through that process, you will have ups and you will definitely have downs. But I think that's, for me, when I had my downs, that's where I was able to have the support that I had. And for me, always wanting to get better, always wanting to get stronger. And that process, like I said, now I can look at myself in the mirror and be happy with who I see.
Beginning to embrace that. It's possible. I'm blessed and highly favored. I've got a lot going for me. I got some good stuff in me. And it's possible that I can bring my greatness out here in the universe. That I can do what I want to do. It's possible I can write my own book. I can have my own business. I can take the trip and travel around the world. It's possible. I can bounce back from adversity and reinvent my life. It's possible. regardless of where I am, that things can get better for me. It's possible.
Well, it's that time of year again. We start to feel real happy. Why? Because we're not going to work. If you believe in Santa Claus and you celebrate Christmas, you're looking forward to Santa Claus coming down the chimney giving you some presents. It's a real good time of year. So in that good time of year, we start to feel real good about ourselves. So I start to feel great. So we start making promises to ourselves about, hey, I'm gonna lose some weight. I'm gonna do better in school. I'm gonna be better here, be better there. But guess what happens? The real Merry Christmas happens when all of that noise is gone, it's quiet, and it's you against you, and now all those endorphins are gone. And that promise you made about getting up early and getting after it to go lose weight, study harder, guess what? It's a lot harder now. That repetition becomes a lot harder now. So a lot of us can't do things on our own. So find somebody in your life. So when you throw that towel in, they throw that back at you and say you're not done yet. Stay true to yourself, stay hard.
Is there advice you can give to people, to young kids that are living through a situation of any sort, a tough life?
Find a thing you like. Try to find a thing that you really enjoy. Try to find a thing that you're passionate about.
Like an activity.
Yes. For me, early on, it was drawing. It was illustrations. It was comic books. I wanted to be a comic book illustrator. And then it went from comic book drawing and illustrations to martial arts. So, but it was just another thing that I was very, very passionate about. And that was my vehicle out of my dilemma. That was my vehicle out of my own anxiety and trauma and my own issues and insecurities. And find something. Find a thing that you genuinely enjoy, because getting good at things you genuinely enjoy is extremely beneficial for young people.